Welcome back. So I'm going to be changing up my channel in the next couple of weeks. I'm still going to do story videos, but I'm going to do them alongside nature tutorials. And most of the things that I'll be teaching you, I learned because I got sent to one of those like mandatory wilderness programs for troubled teens when I was a kid. And this is how I wound up there. So my parents didn't know what to do with me when I was 12, so they shipped me off to boarding school so somebody else could figure it out. And the first one they sent me to was an all-male Christian boarding school. And I did not exactly fit in there. So I got beat up like a lot. And it made it so I respond to situations like I would learn pretty much to throw the first punch because that was the best way of being able to like keep myself safe in that type of situation. Because like even going into high school, and this was when I was still in middle school, but even when I was a freshman, I was only 4'11". Like I was this tiny ass kid. So I had to do everything I could to like be able to stay safe at all because I'm this queer kid. Regardless, so that boarding school, like, you know, I begged to be let out of it, but my parents wouldn't let me until I finished middle school. And after that, they just sent me straight to another boarding school. And that one was a therapeutic school where, like, an emotional growth boarding school. And usually a prerequisite for them is that you have to first go to one of those wilderness programs. They made an exception for me because I had just come back from summer camp, and my parents made the case of like, well, this could be like their wilderness program, you know, it's still out in the woods, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, okay, you know, we'll do that. So about a week into being at this new boarding school, I'm sitting on top of my bed, and it's bunk beds. I'm on the top bunk. They would have like 6 people in a room. It was absolutely awful. But I was sitting there, and the guy beneath me is like, dude, move your fucking feet. And I'm like, what? I'm just sitting on my bed. And he's like, dude, I don't like feet. Move your fucking feet. And if he had asked nicely, like if he had been like, hey, I really don't like feet, like, do you think you could sit a different way? I would have moved them instantly. But because he was being such an entitled asshole about it, I was like, no, fuck off. I'm just sitting on my bed. So then he grabs my ankles and yanks me down off of the top bunk. So I fall down to the floor, and as I'm starting to get up, I see him like sitting up forward, like he's gonna stand up and start some shit. So as soon as I see him leaning forward, I cock back and I clock him against the fucking jaw. And like, you know, this makes this huge thing, like other people in the room start like pulling us off of each other. And from that whole situation, they were like, you know what, I don't think you're quite ready for this school yet. You do have to go to that wilderness program. So I got sent to wilderness. And like most people, when they go to a wilderness program, like it's this very negative thing. But I was actually kind of psyched for it because I've always enjoyed like those nature type stuff. So when I got there, I was just like, when do we learn the bow drill? When do we like, you know, I was like getting really into it. So I stayed at base camp for the first little bit. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna tell this next story. This one is really embarrassing, but whatever. So I end up, going off on like our first like hiking thing. Like we hike for 4 days and then rest for 3 days at one of the campsites. We had these like 60-pound packs that we had to bring everywhere we went. And when we hiked, it was for like 8 hours. Like, it was very, very intense. But on my very first night there, it started to rain, and at least when everybody was awake, we had to like walk away like a certain distance to use the bathroom. Like, obviously they don't want people pissing and shitting like in the communal camp area. And like we didn't even have tents there, so like we just had like tarps that we had to make shelters out of. And in the middle of the night, it starts like absolutely pouring rain, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, I really need to use the bathroom, but I really don't want to walk that far in the rain to, just take piss. So I'm like, you know what, I'll just wait till the morning. Hopefully it won't be raining. I'll just hold it. It'll be fine. And I fall back asleep. And I wake up. And I have pissed my sleeping bag. And I am so embarrassed that I don't even want to tell the counselors there that this has happened, because we were so close to base camp. Like, they would have taken us back, they would have gotten me a new sleeping bag, but I just like couldn't bear thinking about telling somebody that had just happened, because like I'm not like a little kid. Like, I'm like, I think 15 when this happened. Wait, no, 15 that, no. I was 14 when this happened. And so I had to sleep in this, like, at least it dried, but I had to sleep in this piss-stained sleeping bag until we got to a site with a big enough river for me to actually wash it out thoroughly. And I had to sleep in that for like a week and a half. But I'm just gonna end it there. That is the end of my wilderness camp stories. And coming up, once I go out, I went out to the woods the other day, but I didn't find any. I think it's called phloem. We always just called it tinder, but the inside of tree bark, because you need that for almost every like nature skill that you're gonna learn. You need natural cordage as part of that. But anyway, once I go out and get that, I will start teaching y'all some nature skills side by side with my stories. Hope you come around and see that. Have a nice night.